Khan, he's missing this. Tony Khan.
Two things. First things first. Tony Khan, we still work for you. Book us, brother.
What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one, Donnie here, back with a brand new episode of Hot Takes. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, recommend you to hit that subscribe button now. Turn on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO. And of course, you already know, the grind is real. And next Sunday, I will be announcing the winner for our giveaway video. If you have not entered the giveaway at your chance at a Kurt Angle autograph or, a couple figures, check that video out. We'll be announcing the winners next Sunday in a separate video after Hot Takes. But this week in the wrestling world, there really isn't anything crazy going on. But earlier today, I did see, a video surface on wrestling Twitter with FTR, calling Tony Khan out on not being booked lately. And I want to give you guys my hot takes and, give you guys my thoughts on this entire FTR and, AEW situation, because I think this is not just FTR. There's a lot of AEW superstars that are pretty upset with the way that they're being booked. And on Hot Takes, I love to give you guys my honest opinion about, wrestling takes. And sometimes, you guys disagree. Other times, you guys agree with me. And this is just my way to express my opinion. And if you guys, want to interact with me and give you guys your opinions, please, comment down below. I love interacting with you. We Are Wrestling Maniacs, when you guys comment on the videos. We really appreciate the interactions and, the support. But now getting into this FTR situation. So, it looked like at one of these, New Japan shows, it looked like FTR went against two members of United Empire, and they put on a great classic match. The crowd were friggin' so over with FTR, which is absolutely amazing to see. This is the first time since 2019 FTR has actually traveled outside of the United States, which is, really cool to see, because they are right now, outside of WWE, the most over friggin' team in the entire world. And it's crazy to see them carrying all the friggin' championships. You got the AAA titles on them, you got the Ring of Honor titles on them, and you got the New Japan IWGP Tag Team titles on them as well, which is, amazing to see. But one thing that, a lot of us have been questioning, the past couple months is FTR's booking in AEW, because I think the last time that they competed in AEW in a tag team match, I think, was Forbidden Door, the last AEW event, because I believe they did wrestle at Death Before Dishonor, and I know they did a 6-man with Wardlow at All Out, but I'm talking about tag team matches together, just FTR. I think the last time that they did it for AEW was back in June with Forbidden Door, and I need to give you guys my opinion, because in case you guys don't know, AEW for me is the number one wrestling product in my opinion. But unfortunately, after last week's episode of AEW Dynamite, one of the most stale, one of the most flat episodes I've ever watched from AEW, absolutely disappointing, I am really starting to think that WWE is getting a little bit better than AEW. And I've been an AEW fan since day one, when they did, their first press conference in Jacksonville announcing the All Elite Wrestling promotion. But lately, the product has been very stale, and it's something that I did say, I believe, in my hot takes last week or the week before. Tony Khan needs to sit down with his talent and needs to be straight up. If you don't want to be a part of All Elite Wrestling, I will happily grant you your release. This is the problem. You need to have every single wrestler on the same page. And the problem is with Tony Khan is he has too many damn superstars where he cannot book certain people right. And that is the issue here, because FTR, literally in their friggin' prestigious ranking system that really doesn't mean anything, they have been number one for the last 4 or 5 months. And they haven't even gotten AEW World Tag Team title shot, which is absolutely crazy to me. And when they did book that 6-man tag match, it was cool to see them with Wardlow. But I think we all wanted to see FTR in a regular tag match. And that's the problem. Tony Khan has the talent. They are all, the freaking roster is stacked. Even the underrated guys that are wrestling on Dark and Elevation are very talented. But the problem is Tony Khan's booking is absolutely dog shit. We get Jay Lethal with Sanjay Dutt and PWI's friggin' top 500 worst wrestler, #1, Satnam Singh. We get them every single week, but we're not getting FTR. That's the problem here. And I feel like, certain things need to change. I know, Tony Khan, there's a recent report that went out that Tony Khan's not granting AEW releases, and that needs to change because I think Billy Corgan in NWA does it best. If you don't want to be a part of what he is rebuilding over in the National Wrestling Alliance, he will grant you your release and he will continue putting on the best product he possibly can. And that is something that I think all the promoters really need to take note on. I am very disappointed with the way AEW has been, this past week. The only thing for me is that's been exciting is the Daniel Garcia, Chris Jericho thing and the MJF stuff with the world title. That's the only two things right now, and for me, that are very interesting. Also, seeing the Acclaim win the tag belts has also been amazing as well. But the problem is with WWE, it's getting better because there's multiple storylines that are actually intriguing and actually interesting, finally. Like, for me, when I'm watching Raw, I can actually sit there and actually watch it for at least 2.5 of the 3 hours, which back then I could only watch 10 minutes of 3 hours, which is a huge difference. I have been very invested in what they're doing with WWE right now, with, bringing these guys back like Dexter Lumis. I love what he's doing with The Miz. Also, Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre, they're doing an amazing job. The Bloodline, they were getting a little bit slow until Clash at the Castle when they added Solo Sikoa in there. And Sami Zayn has been doing the best character work, I think, out of anybody right now in WWE. And it's really making the Bloodline storyline even more intriguing and interesting than what AEW is putting out right now. And I think what AEW needs to do is Tony Khan needs to get that team established, and he needs to have help building this, because the problem is Full Gear is literally 1 month away. And besides MJF versus Jon Moxley for the World Championship and maybe Daniel Garcia versus Chris Jericho by then, we really don't have any good establishing storylines going on right now. And to me, that's a big problem, because with All Out, they did put on a great show, but a lot of their booking decisions, they were last minute. Something that us AEW fans would always criticize WWE for doing. The problem is Tony Khan, he has the talent. He needs to start really building and focusing on the television side of things. Because do not get me wrong, the matches that these wrestlers are putting on are great. Great 5-star classics we're getting every week. At least we know when we're watching AEW, we are going to get one great freaking match. But when it comes to television, there's 2 hours. AEW has 2 hours from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to put on a show. And back then, there was multiple storylines, and they really did, develop their homegrown talent, and they were able to, establish the guys that they have, like Chris Jericho, and, your big names like Jon Moxley. They were able to actually utilize them properly. And something that they really need to consider is booking FTR better, because right now they are literally the #1 tag team, I think, in the professional wrestling business. I think they are better than the Usos. I think that they're better than any tag team right now that is, paired up together. and they're making history. And the thing that's crazy and so impressive about that is it's not even an AEW that they're making this history. They're going to independent shows and they're putting on classics, the crowd singing their theme song. Friggin' they want FTR. And I love the Acclaimed a lot, and I really hope that they get to keep the tag team titles for a little bit. But there's going to be a time and place where they need to give FTR these tag belts because FTR, is very, very over. And that's the thing. Like, when it comes to, like, seeing talent not being used properly, it really disappoints me. And I knew from the get-go when AEW signed Andrade, there was going to be issues there because I think, Andrade, it's so hard to book him. And I really thought, like, they had something going with, Andrade and Rush as a tag team. I think that they could have definitely, you know, they definitely could have been booked properly and they could have definitely done something there. And I know that there's reports that number 10 from Dark Order is going to be going against Andrade on Friday at Rampage. And if, 10 loses, he must take the mask off. And if Andrade loses, he leaves AEW. And there's actually speculation that Andrade might actually be leaving AEW. Maybe Tony Khan did, grant his release. And that's something, if they did that, I think that's a step in the right direction. Because with these talent, they really need to utilize them. And that's why when it came to bringing in new championships like the All Atlantic title and the Trios Championship, I was very excited and happy. Because at the time they had the stacked roster, the booking was actually, I thought, pretty damn good. And now everything is just stale, and I really hope that AEW can just reset and really, start new programs and, give us a better television show. That's what I want to see, a better television show. Because they definitely could be doing a lot more with the Blackpool Combat Club. They definitely, need to break up the Dark Order because we already got Anna Jay gone. Colt Cabana's not even in AEW no more. Alan Angel 5, he's doing independent stuff now. He's not a part of the promotion. And literally, John Silver and Reynolds are always on Dark and Elevation, and they deserve a lot freaking better. Time to break up the Dark Order. Let's, start a program there. Friggin', we have guys like Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks. Let's, separate their rivalry. Let them go out and do something. You have Kip Sabian, who just came back, who could be doing a lot more things. Friggin' Sammy Guevara as well. We can, get different things, and it's crazy. AEW has the roster. It's just when it comes to the booking, Tony Khan, you need help because FTR, they should not be friggin' in Japan right now putting on classics. That's not a part of your promotion. You're losing money. You're literally losing money, Tony Khan, by not booking FTR properly. Because, friggin', they just put on a great classic with United Empire. And you've been having United Empire friggin' booked on your shows. And that could have been a great match on Dynamite for, before Forbidden Door. And I think the big problem right now with Tony Khan's booking with AEW is ROH. We need to get a TV deal for Ring of Honor ASAP, and we need to separate the brands. Which, in my opinion, at this point, I would be happy if they got rid of Rampage and they put Ring of Honor on Fridays. Honestly, give us 2 hours of Ring of Honor from 10 to 12 Eastern Standard Time on Fridays and keep Dynamite on Wednesdays, but have the roster, have a brand split there because we need to separate the products. We need to separate the brands. And I think having Ring of Honor matches on an AEW show, they are classics. They're great matches, but it's taking away from the AEW product because that's what AEW needs to do is focus on their product, their promotion, because with this Forbidden Door thing, these other guys are going out and they're freaking doing better, like FTR. And that is, my thoughts on the whole FTR situation. Do I think FTR is frustrated and they want to leave AEW? Absolutely not. They're very happy with the position that they're in because AEW does let the wrestlers, go out to other promotions and do stuff like this. And, they are letting FTR do this, which, in WWE, they would not be able to do this. So I think FTR is happy with the freedom, but they probably, Dax was cracking a joke about it, because one thing with Dax is he loves to be real and he loves to be honest with the crowd, and he knows how to get a reaction. And that is what he did there. I don't think there's any animosity or frustrations with, FTR, because they're still doing what they love, and that's professional wrestling. But do I think that they want to be on AEW more? Absolutely. But this isn't a big thing like they're demanding a release or anything, so I really don't want the WWE marks to go out there and put those out there, because that's not true. But if you guys enjoyed this week's episode of Hot Takes, make sure to smash that like button now. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. Links down in the description below. You can go follow me on my social medias and other YouTube pages. I'm going to be very active now over on my Best One Donnie channel, where I'm doing, different types of reaction videos over there. And I'm also going to be very active now on DBTV, my basketball content, now that the NBA season's starting. All the links are down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, hope to see you guys Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live stream. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs, we are taking over. Peace.